Over the last year, I've seen a ton of people that have wanted to jump into YouTube to grow their coaching, consulting, or agency business, but the main thing holding them back is this massive lie that it takes a long time to see growth. Or people saying you need to stick it out for a long period of time to make money. Well, in this video, I'm gonna break down why people think that it is and why it's an extremely outdated mindset. I'm gonna talk about why most people struggle on YouTube and then the steps that you can take so that you're not one of those people. And then I'm gonna give you the 2 small changes that I made that allowed me to scale a channel to $450,000 per month completely organically. Now, before we jump too far into it, you might have seen that I actually moved to a brand new studio. I'm going all in on YouTube content going into the rest of this year and in 2025. So if you want to stay updated with everything YouTube, Instagram, content, optimizing these platforms to make money, make sure to click the subscribe button. Let's jump in. So first things first, where did this idea of YouTube taking such a long time come from? Well, for the longest time, I will agree, YouTube has and was a slow grow type of platform, right? I've personally been consistently uploading on YouTube for the last 17 years. Yes, a long time. Now, as I was doing research for this video, I went all the way back to my first YouTube channel. I was playing video games, adding commentary to it, right? Much more accepted now, but I got made fun of a lot as a kid. Now, here's the stats. I posted 125 long form videos on that channel, right? Shorts wasn't a thing, and I only gained about 500 subscribers. Now, keep in mind, I was a lot younger at the time, and I didn't really have other obligations other than going to school. I didn't even know that you could make money from YouTube, so I was really just doing it for the love of the game. Now, here's where the issue comes in of it being a long-term effect. YouTube's old philosophy used to be to only feature creators that had massive audiences, right? If you already had a massive audience, you were gonna get pushed on the homepage of YouTube. Now, of course, what happened is the big and the large creators, they got bigger, but the small creators, they stayed small, right? Unless you already had a big following on some other platform like Vine at the time or Instagram. Now, the good news is though, last couple of years, that has completely changed, right? YouTube has made it simple for anybody to start a channel right now, like right this second, and blow up the same day or even tomorrow. Now, that can happen for anyone for really 2 main reasons. Number one is the introduction of YouTube Shorts a couple years back, right? You can put out a 30-second video that goes viral and quite literally could change the trajectory of your life, right? Hundreds of thousands of views and subscribers is possible for anyone starting these days. Now, maybe short form content is your thing, which leads me to reason number 2, which is that everyone is given the chance to show up on the YouTube homepage when you upload a long form video. And this is massive for new creators, right? Like I said a second ago, the homepage used to be for only people that already had hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscribers. But now YouTube is giving your video a test on the homepage for a certain amount of time. And here's the secret. If that video has a good title and a thumbnail, it could be seen by a brand new audience. Now, that very thing leads me to point number 2, which is why most people are struggling on YouTube right now. Like I mentioned a second ago, the title and the thumbnail can make or break your chances on YouTube. So here's an example. I'm gonna show you 2 different thumbnails on the screen right now, and I want you to even comment down below which one grabs your attention, left one or right one. Now, I bet you'd say the one on the right. If not, you're in the minority because this video got 20,000 views in the first 3 weeks of it going live on a channel that had less than 300 subs, and that video alone generated over $100,000 in sales. So why did that video perform so well? Well, because it follows my 3x3 checklist. These are 3 rules that you use for each title and 3 rules for each thumbnail. So let's touch on the thumbnail part first. Rule number 1 is your thumbnail needs to invoke curiosity that makes people stop the scroll. Again, you can test this by just going to the homepage of YouTube. Checklist item number 2 is you only want to have 3 to 5 words on the thumbnail at any given time, because what happens is, let's say you have a really large thumbnail. When you're editing that, yeah, I mean, it could be really large, but when it starts to condense down into people seeing it on their phones, right, on smaller places on the desktop, it's just not going to be seen and no one's going to click it. And then checklist item number 3 is it needs to be high saturation, right? When you're looking at the YouTube homepage, it needs to jump out at you and be something that grabs attention because you're competing with so many other videos. Now let's jump to the 3 rules on the title side, right? Number 1 is you need to front load the important information within the first handful of words. Most people don't know this, but you only have about 50 characters that actually fit in the title before you have the little ... piece. If you have some of the most important clickable information after those 50 characters, then no one's even going to see that, and they're not going to click because they don't have context around what the video is about. So make sure to front load that information. Now, rule number 2 is to never, I mean, never use the same text in the thumbnail as the title of the video. Now, I'll be honest, if you go back through some of my videos, the same text will be in the title and the thumbnail, but here's the way you want to think about it. I'll give you an example here in a second, but the thumbnail should be what grabs attention, and the title is what's going to really add context to what the video is about. And also, it allows you to get two different chances to get the person to click into your video. So back to the cucumber erectile dysfunction video. Now, the thumbnail grabbed attention, right? It says before and after, and it makes you think, huh? And then the title is this the new breakthrough for erectile dysfunction? That title added context to the two cucumbers back to back, and then it made the person curious enough to want to click through and figure out what it was all about. And then rule number 3 is to always test different styles of title. Now, sometimes it's more tutorial based, right? How to do this, how to lose weight in 30 days, how to do whatever it is, right? You have to do that. However, for example, for this video, it's going to be something titled around like the biggest YouTube lie or something like that, right? That is more to invoke curiosity versus like no one's really searching for, you know, the biggest YouTube lie, but it is going to grab attention because it's a topic that a lot of people are talking about. So when you're creating the title of your video, think, should you go more curiosity based, right? To get people to click through, or are you going for the longer term effect and the longer term play of SEO? So now that you know how YouTube has changed over the last couple of years to help with new creators, and you also know the right packaging, right? The title and thumbnail for those videos to perform, here are 2 things that I changed to help generate $450,000 a month on a relatively small channel. First change that I made is to only add one single link in the description. If you have more than one link, right, to your Instagram, to your website, to whatever platform it is, it confuses people, right? It leads them to indecision and they won't make a decision at all. I will tell you, when I'm doing audits of people's Instagrams or YouTube channels, literally this one single change makes a massive difference. Now, your next question is, okay, cool. I should only have one link in the description. What should that actually be? Now, this is going to depend a lot on the size of your channel, how many views you're getting, but you'll more often than not start with a calendar link or a discovery call link for someone to book a call with you. Then what you're going to do as you get more and more volume coming through, you're going to either A, have way too many people booking, or B, you won't have as high quality people as you need or that you want on your calendar. And then as soon as you realize one of those two things happening, either A, too many people, or B, the quality is too low, you're going to switch out the book a call link for some sort of application funnel. And the application questions is what's going to weed people out to make sure that you're only talking to the highest quality people possible. So as simple as it sounds, that was the first change that made a massive difference, just having one link in the description and then changing out that link depending on how many people are coming through. Now, the second change that I made was actually front loading a CTA or a call to action. So if you look at like a general framework of a YouTube video, right? You have your intro, you have your introduction of the topics, and then you jump straight into the value. What you want to do is incorporate a really short and sweet CTA, right? A call to action right before you jump into the information. Now, don't make the mistake of doing a really long, drawn out 1-minute pitch, right? To go to your link in bio or, you know, subscribe to the channel or whatever it is, but you just want it to be short, sweet, and to the point, and then jump straight into the action. For example, in this video, I did do a call to action more to subscribe to the channel versus to go to book a call or to check out a training or anything like that. And the reason is I want to build a lot more goodwill on this YouTube channel before pitching directly to book a call or to an application. Not saying that you have to do that. Like literally your first video, you can say, hey, you know, if you want to learn exactly how I can walk you through the process and set up XYZ, right? Whatever your offer is or whatever you do for people. But again, just make sure that it is short and sweet and to the point so you don't push people away from your video. Now, I've done a lot of testing on this, not only on my channel that was able to hit 450 grand a month, but a ton of other channels like the one that I mentioned earlier does an extra 100 grand a month with less than 1,000 followers. Now, the reason I did that is if you look at any retention graph on any piece of content, right? Doesn't matter if it's YouTube or short form as well, right? You have an initial amount of people and you have a massive drop off in the first couple seconds of the video. Now, if I can do a call to action at the beginning of the video before, you know, there's only 20 to 30% of people towards the end of the video, I'm going to get about 60 to 70% of those people to see the call to action, and a certain amount of people either A, do it later on because I reminded them, or B, do it right away, which again is fine because I'm bringing them further down the funnel. If you just make those two changes on the channel that you're already using, or you start by not doing it wrong in the first place, you're going to see a ton of traction on YouTube, not only from a view and a, you know, YouTube metric standpoint, but also from the dollars into your agency, coaching, or consulting business. Now, I know this video is going to be really helpful for anyone that wants to get started on YouTube or is already on YouTube. You can go ahead and click the video on screen right now to bring you to another video all about how to maximize your YouTube and content strategy. Or you can click the first link down in the description below. It's going to bring you to an application to apply to work with me and figuring out your content strategy, getting it up and running, and helping you in the best way possible so you do it right the first time and make some money from your personal brand. See you guys in the next one. Talk soon.